The impeachment hearing into President Biden kicked off in earnest today. The House Oversight Committee was trying to lay the groundwork for why they're doing this. This is what we've been talking about. I've asked these members of Congress that have come on the show before, if we can't get the American people to understand what you're doing and why, it's going to be a very hard sell. It's impeachment, after all. And let's face it, the Senate isn't going to do anything on this. So it's up to the House to really make the case as to what's happening. I've talked to you guys about this before. The evidence about Hunter Biden being a scumbag is pretty unconvincing, right? I mean, just the money that he got paid, the number of Biden family associates. I mean, just yesterday we talked about the fact that the Biden's name is on the wire document. Like, he's wiring this money from China and he's got President Biden's address. Like, he couldn't have used his own address. There are legitimate questions that need to get answered about these business endeavors. The people, what were they paying for? What money may have transacted that ended up in Joe Biden's bank account? What? I mean, if everyone else is getting paid, and I'm talking everybody, as you have seen, it's not that big of a stretch, but I think the House Republicans need to show it in some way. That's my take on this, at least. But I think this idea of why was the name on the wire? Why would you put your dad? In fact, I would go the opposite way. If I knew my dad was the former vice president, potentially running for president, the last thing I'd do is put his name on a wire from a bunch of Chinese companies. I mean, that's actually really stupid, unless it was intentional. But those are all good questions that need to get asked. And I think it's interesting because the Democrats keep saying, well, there's no evidence. There's no evidence. I don't know that there was a ton of evidence when they went after Trump. This is why I've always said what's good for the goose is good for the gander. The Democrats laid the predicate. They did this with judges and nominees in the Senate years ago. They started peeling this back. They changed the rules, and then they get mad when Republicans do it. They started this. I mean to sound like an 8-year-old, but it's true. They went after Trump twice. And as I said multiple times, he was out of office. So you weren't going to get him. So, sorry, this is what happens.